good morning, Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us back here on Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate news show, where we report news, what's happening in the market in real estate here in Las Vegas every week to keep you up to date on what's going on. We have some awesome guests today, so looking forward to the show. We have some great energy here on set this morning. So let's start with welcoming our guests. First, we have Wolfe. Mia is with First Class Real Estate, and she is a return guest. You've seen her here before. Mia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am kind of a newer agent here in Las Vegas. Been a couple years, been incredibly busy. I love the job, love Trish, and love the camera.
And you are rocking it. Newer agent does not even start to describe you. She is rocking it. She's all over social media, huge influencer, great realtor, great energy. Love this girl. And John, another person, great energy. John Williams, Berkshire Hathaway. John, I've been trying to get you on here for a while, so I'm so glad that you're finally here.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm glad I was able to do it. And my name's John Williams. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway, and I have the John Williams Group. Love real estate, love helping people, and love the dynamics of this market, and love discussing it because it's always changing and it's so fun to be in the know with this stuff. So
right, absolutely. I wonder how realtors survive when they're not in the know. There's so many people that just kind of lock themselves in their house and then they come out when a client calls or whatever. It's like you have so much catching up to do, right?
Yeah.
Every day is so busy.
Yeah, you take a weekend off and oh my gosh, everything's changed, right?
Absolutely, and I've done that. I've gone on like vacation, or like 3-day vacation, come back and you're like, what happened? The market changed.
Right.
So yes, speaking of market changes, we've been talking about this over the last couple weeks. Interest rates definitely have done something to our market. It's we can ignore it, guys. I know I've got some feedback last week that people were like, hey, stop talking about the market changing. And I'm like, but it's happening, so we're talking about it. And there is a little bit of a shift going on right now. Inventory, single family homes, we're at 2601.
Yay.
That's a good thing, right? We've been
It
under 1900 all year, and that sucked. That really sucked. It sucked for buyers, and I think it sucked for sellers too.
It just makes it difficult all around, I mean, it makes it stressful, I think, for more people. But, I think that the market changing where you say people don't want to talk about it, I think that's interesting because it's like there's always good and bad reasons for every time in the market. No matter what the current situation is, you can either have a winning attitude or not, and find solutions or just find excuses, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And the with inventory going up, it's giving some relief to buyers. We're starting to see more homes, so buyers aren't having to be like, oh, that one has a room, I guess.
It's got 4 walls.
Yes, it's the only one.
So yeah, that's the other thing is price reductions. So over the last 7 days, we've seen 434 price reductions, whereas previously we were under 200 most of the year this year. So we've been 434. That's a big jump.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's due to people overpricing.
Well, I mean, there's people that definitely try to take advantage of the market, which is good, right? I mean, we all want to make money with our homes and with real estate. However, I think there is some responsibility of agents as well as sellers to price things appropriately. We have a responsibility to protect the market, and seeing a lot of people go way high is disappointing because that kind of further reduces the inventory for buyers because buyers aren't really falling for it anymore. I mean, maybe in 2020 when things were exciting, but now they're holding off if things are overpriced and they can't find that right home.
Right.
Yeah. And too, I think there's a little chunk, a section of people that are just like, hey, let's just throw it up there, put a price on it, not really motivated, which really, it hurts our buyers too, and it hurts the agent that's working for them as well.
Absolutely. I put a home on the market the other day, and we priced, and it's a beautiful home, so I would say absolutely comparable to the last comp, right? We priced right at comp, the last comp. We've only been on the market for 2 days. I'm not stressing. So we have had a couple of showings, but had this been 3 weeks ago, we'd have 20 offers right now.
Right.
We don't have an offer now. We've had a couple showings. I'm sure we'll get an offer. I'm not concerned about that. But that it's just such an indicator of how quickly we shift. And that's priced at comp because this year we've been going 10 to 20 to 30,000 above the last comp on
Yep.
every new home that we're pricing.
And, I mean, even last year, we're sitting here going, oh my God, like it's been 5 days and we haven't had an offer yet. Whenever it was like, 20 days. Hey, we'll talk about a price reduction in a month,
Yeah.
45 days. And we're sitting here like freaking out because it hasn't sold in a week, which shows the market and even the expectations with sellers and with buyers too of, we got to get your offer in immediately. So when it does, we start seeing more inventory. We are seeing a shift, even just this week.
Yeah,
Right.
Absolutely.
Has it not given us realtors like this ADD mentality, right? I was like, my house just listed. I have no offers. What's going on?
I already have that anyway, so.
Right. 40 showings the first day, and we have been there. And even with me coming into the market, like I don't even know if I know what a normal market is because I came into real estate right in the rush of things. So I don't even know if I really know what a real market, what a true market is.
Yeah.
I think a true market is one that's never the same.
It's not.
Always changing.
Yeah, true.
And we're always entering something different. That's one thing that I've noticed in real estate. It's like you think right when you think you know what you're doing, it changes.
Yep.
You got to constantly be learning, constantly be talking to people.
Yep.
Other realtors. I think it is so sad that there's some realtors that don't talk to like their colleagues.
Exactly.
Other people, other companies go outside, of where they're at because they're, and it's true, stats, 90% of the realtors in Vegas are, 10% of the realtors are doing 90% of the work, and the people that are active in the market really know what's going on. So it's good to have.
And I like things like this because you're absolutely right. There's enough homes for everybody. And I think that so many people get in a scarcity mindset a lot. Versus an abundance. And it's like we should want to help each other out. We're professional colleagues, and I think this kind of stuff is really good because if we can work with each other well, it helps transactions. It helps when you get into a deal with another agent that you've had a good communication with. You know what they're like. You can work better together versus being so cutthroat. And that does nothing but help everybody in the end. Agents, but also your clients.
Also your clients, yeah. I mean, if you're fighting with an agent the entire time on a transaction, are you serving anybody?
No.
Your clients are not getting. They're probably getting the repercussions of the agent who's mad at you over something.
Put your ego to the side.
It is it's so beneficial whenever you're out showing some houses and you're like, oh, I know, I'm showing Trish's house tomorrow. I know her. Let me call her and see. Like it just feels good, and it's a good look to your clients too. You should know the agents around you and not be in this competitive space.
Yeah. There's been times where we've had houses come on, a house that's about to come on the market, and I'm like, hey, Mia's got a buyer. We're going to bring her over. And
for sure, like pre-marketing, like I do reach out to the realtors that I work with, and say, hey, this is coming soon, because how many buyers do we have a list of that are looking for a house, and
exactly,
it only helps everybody.
It services our clients.
It does.
Yeah, absolutely. So rates are certainly affecting our market. The interest rates are raising. They're raising again. I've seen another post that they're raising them again. It's like they're trying to. I don't know what they're trying to do, but they're gung ho on it. These rates are going up. So that's something we cannot avoid, and it is affecting our market. I feel like it's going to uncover a lot of things in the market, even with agents too. People that are that. You can operate in a certain way when everybody's busy and everything's chaotic.
Yep.
When things start to shift, that starts to get uncovered.
I think it weeds out the people that are high performers or not. When anything sells, no matter what, well, it's easy to do real estate. And a lot of new agents get involved, and 90% of new agents quit in their first year. So I think this kind of market will take the people that last past their year and kind of weed out more of who are the strong. The strong will survive, and the people that know how to work and work for their clients, for the client's benefit, to get the client what they want, not just to get themselves a commission. Those are the agents that are going to last, and survive the more challenging times in the market, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, negotiations are going to come back.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I sure miss negotiating contracts. It's like
Right.
highest price. That's it. There's no, but actually negotiating, working with, working out win-win deals and things like that, which is a skill. That's a skill that we have.
It is.
So that's something that's going to, come back and be brought back into our market. What other things are you guys seeing or expecting with the way that rates are going to affect our market?
I mean, I think there's positives and negatives to every situation, and I think the positive to this situation is, we are seeing inflation go up pretty big. So, curbing demand in the home market is the way the government is trying to kind of control that. And what I say to my buyers right now is like, look, you need to buy now because the market's going to keep going up. Now, at what rate? Who knows, right? But get in, lock in the home price. Rates are still below the historical low average of 7%. So they're still low.
Yeah.
And then in 12, 24, maybe 36 months, when we start seeing the recession kind of come from, all this activity, we're going to see rates lower again. We're going to see home values go up again. And if you have bought your home now, give it a couple years, you can refinance at a lower rate, but you've bought the home at a lower price, So
Right.
I think there's still a lot of positives with this. And it's going to slow down demand. As we have seen, instead of 20 or 30 offers, we're getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's making it a little bit easier for buyers to get in, and I saw a whole bunch of escrows falling out over the last year and so, like people just throwing out 4, 5, 6 offers. It was so competitive. And then they would get one, but then 2 days later get the one they really wanted, cancel. And so I'm hoping that we see some more serious buyers and sellers and some more solid deals being put together so that
Solid deals.
You're not going on and off the market, on and off, because again, that doesn't help your clients either. So.
Yeah. And that's one thing I miss. I miss buyers that are 100% committed to the home that they're purchasing, not just getting it because it's the only one that the seller said yes to.
Right.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And what are your thoughts? Mia?
I don't know. I'm seeing a little bit of a difference with the buyers that are a little more educated. They're paying attention to interest rates. They're kind of understanding now, and I don't know if it's just the group that I work with that their credit's important. Let's shop around rates. And that it's important to have good people on your side helping you with the process. And I appreciate that. I love clients that are interested in understanding it, and then us educating them that 5% it's higher than it was, but it's still not historically high. And I always say, like, look and see what you're paying on your credit cards and on your car, because you're probably paying like 26%, 21% on probably a high limit. So like that comparison is huge, and it kind of changes their mindset too. So I think that like education is everything, and it helps a lot.
And it is tough because the news and your friends, your mechanic, everybody's like gloom and doom. Oh my God, rates are through the roof and all this. However, if you're renting, especially if you're one of these people who's renting and buying, what's going on with rental rates?
100% rate, 100% interest rate.
They're crazy.
For sure.
And you have no stability. And I mean, don't we all want stability with where we live? And so even if somebody has to stretch a little bit out of their comfort zone to get into a home, because at least you lock in what you're paying and your home situation. And the rates can change, so you can refinance, things like that. But if you're renting, I mean, there's no guarantee that you're going to get renewed past your lease or renewed without a huge raise. And then it's even harder almost, I think, to find a rental right now than to find a home to buy.
Right.
Yeah, the rental crisis, because it really is a rental crisis that we're seeing. But I am seeing it really, pushing and motivating those people that are understanding it to turn them into buyers. And they're young, and they're saying like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. My rent just got raised $500. I have kids. And calling and saying, what do I need to do? And I think that's where agents are really doing a good service if they talk to their clients and they're not they will talk to a client and communicate with a renter that wants to become a buyer, which is, I built my business, and Trish did too, help me a lot whenever I first started with those renters and really helping them get them motivated,
into their first rental,
get into their first home, even though this may not be your forever home, just get in, and it changes their life. That's what the rewarding part is in our job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's helping be there for these people in these big stages of their life.
I mean,
it's
home ownership
fulfilling.
is the number one way people build wealth.
Yes.
And it's like, that's what I love. It's like, I love helping people realize that dream to help elevate them in the future. It's like, this is just the stepping stone to really get where you want to go, and look at it as a tool. It's a home also, but it's a tool to change your future, basically.
true.
Yeah. Well, my daughter, I have a 25-year-old daughter. She owns her home, and she bought it a couple years ago.
Oh, nice.
At 23, on her own, without my help.
Very cool.
Without I help find the home, but without she. Whoa, my God, Gary.
She used another agent, you mean?
Yeah, no. She used me. But her starter home, small starter home. Nothing fancy, nothing big, really small. The neighborhood is like, there's a lot of homes being renovated in the neighborhood. It's like up and coming, and so many things right now. Today, she just called me yesterday, and she's like, oh, another house just got remodeled. They renovated the entire outside. They're doing this. It's like this whole, she's in this now of like, in this like up and coming established like area. And it's wonderful. It's that security, and she's so young, and it's just, that's the dream, that's the dream for so many people. And it's even, not just my daughter, but so many other people that I've witnessed that happen to. It's just wonderful to see. They've built equity. She's built so much equity in the home in just over the last couple of years that she's had it. And it's just, it's a good story. Yeah. It's a good story.
It's the pride of ownership. You can see it in the communities. People really now appreciating the value of their homes, and really like, I know everybody's busy renovating and keeping their yards up, and really taking some pride in their homes and paying attention to it. I love it.
And that's interesting. I think, I wonder what the catalyst for that is, but I've noticed, I feel like in Vegas, people, it started in the middle and kind of radiated out, and everybody's like, oh, my home needs work. Next guy's problem. I'll just move to a brand new home 10 minutes from the strip. Oh, I'll move 15 minutes from the strip, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And now we got traffic and things are far away. I'm seeing that a lot of these central neighborhoods just haven't had the love, over the years. And with people kind of holding off on buying or selling their homes in the last few years, I feel like I've noticed a lot more people who are like, we can't find what we want, or this or that, whatever their excuse is, but we're going to renovate our house and fix it up.
Right.
And I really think that's good for the city, because we needed that, and now we're going to see, once people renovate their homes, now we have a chance for prices to kind of level up again, because you've added value.
Yeah, those central neighborhoods are starting to look so great. That's where my daughter lives, in the downtown area.
I figured when you were talking about it.
And they're just, it's just like they have those cute dollhouse styles. They're just adorable.
People want character.
Yeah.
50% of buyers right now are millennials.
Yeah.
And they like mid-century modern. They like, to be close to the action and all this stuff, which people wanted to get away from the strip. But I think as downtown has evolved and the strip has evolved,
foot traffic,
now people
it's a hub.
It's kind of like people are like, hey, I wouldn't mind being 5 or 10 minutes from the strip. It's
Yeah.
trendy, it's fun, it's cool. And I think that's an opportunity for a lot of people, new buyers or people who want investment properties that are like, hey, I have all this equity in my home, but I don't really want to sell. Cash out refi, take some money, buy an investment property in one of these up and coming areas where you can hold it, rent it, and see that value skyrocket over the next 2 to 5 years,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing that buyers, I feel like, again, change the way you look at things, right?
And the things you look at change.
And the things you look at change, right? A golden rule. Buyers right now are concerned about rates, right? Rates being high or whatnot. But you rewind us back to a month, and the rates were great, but they had to pay $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 over the appraisal just to get their house accepted. Yeah. So just to get their offer accepted. So how long is that 1% difference in that rate going to take for that to cost you $30,000?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a huge point. I mean, because again, I feel like over time, paying down that $30,000 on your mortgage slowly with the, like in the rate, making your payments or whatever is going to be able, you could refi, get your payment lower.
Yep.
It's not, when you look at it overall, the rates are not really costing you more than it was a month ago.
Right.
Because
it's just in
now,
a different way.
Yeah, it's getting put in a different spot. And the house prices are, we're starting to see the prices a little bit better. They're not so much over list. They're not so much competition and things like that. So I really feel like that's something that we need to make sure that the buyers understand that it's not, it's the news. It's sticker shock. It's all this stuff. But when you really look at it, giving them those price breakdowns of what it is, this is really, I think it really is beneficial for buyers to be buying right now.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So another thing that has happened recently is I have been hearing from builders. New construction builders, they tend to, when the market is really, really hot, they could care less about us realtors. They kick us to the side, tell us to go away. They brush us off because they have plenty of buyers and they don't need us. And now I'm getting emails again from builders. I got one from, I'll give you a plug, Richmond American. One of their communities is offering co-op, or not co-op, well, co-ops too, but they're offering a closing cost to the buyer, which we haven't seen that in a couple years. No. So that is an indicator that those new home sales are slowing down. Yeah. What do you guys think? Obviously, I know it's rates, but what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I think you're right on there. I went through a new home purchase recently, just moved in last September, and it was a little anxiety inducing because, it was a 9-month process delayed by another 2 or 3 months. And during that time, the rates weren't locked in and they were fluctuating.
Right.
And so, somebody who is going for a new home build and, says, oh, I'm qualified at this price at this rate. Well, that's great, but 3-6 months into the build process, if the rates are skyrocketing, it could just be knocking people out.
Yeah, you wait all that time for your home. You're planning on moving in there, and you can't because the payment just went up.
Yep.
And they can only lock those rates, as far as I know. Like, I think there's some places that can do 120, but most of them are 60 to 90 day lock.
60 to 90 is what I'm familiar with.
And the 120s cost a lot if they do it. So yeah, no, that's scary. Yeah. That's scary. So I'm sure that's keeping some buyers off of the new construction.
Yeah. And I have a lot of buyers, and I love new construction. And, sometimes, that closing cost is a big chunk of their, of the process of getting their house. And so, I have a lot of buyers that is their only choice is to get a new construction home that is going to pay the closing cost. And, it might push them to a certain area or a certain builder. So, it's great to see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the days when, we'd go shopping for houses on the market and there wasn't anything that we were, the buyers were liking. It's like, oh, let's see what new construction has for inventory. And there's always options. Then over the last 2 years, there's no options. It's like, yeah, I know. They'll be built in a year. You could reserve the dirt maybe, but you need to go into a lottery to get it. It's been chaotic.
And I feel like that a part of that is also just trend changes. Like, I feel like in the last 4 or 5 years, I've seen a shift from people who are more willing to renovate, fix up homes, wanting the features that the home has regardless of the condition, and willing to make it their own over time, to now it seems like nobody wants to lift a finger, touch anything, renovate anything. They either want something brand new or something that's been totally renovated and is perfect. And on those homes, I'm still seeing the crazy competition. But it's interesting how that trend has shifted, towards totally new and nice, which the new homes give you that, which just...
I think a lot of it has to do with the television shows, HGTV, the news, mainstream media, because there does become a frenzy, but there is a trend that people follow. I mean, it is just, it's from marketing and from TV.
TV doesn't have an influence.
Yeah.
No. Social media, no.
I struggle with that mindset with buyers. It is because I come from a construction background.
Right.
So I have I have this whole... I can go in and make anything what I want it. So I see the potential. So many people, especially because of the TV shows and everything like that, it's like they want everything modern. They want everything turnkey. They want to walk into this beautiful everything. And I am, again, the way the market's been, it's been, good or bad, you're still paying the same price. But now that we're starting to see a shift, you're going to see better deals on the homes that need a little bit of a little bit of love, a little bit of attention, but nothing major. I'm not talking about a roof falling in.
Right.
I'm talking about just like
finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I bought my house, the funny thing about when we got my house is my sister-in-law came to visit, after we had purchased the house, before we did anything to it, just, like, this is the house we just bought, we're working on it before we move in. And she said, why'd you pick this one? She's looking around, and there was like forest green walls. There was wallpaper, a chair border.
Hey, it's coming back.
It was not cute. But now, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's adorable. But we knew exactly what we wanted to do with it when we walked in. But so many people have a hard time seeing that.
And would you rather pay $30,000 over appraisal to get a home that's fresh, or pay what the list price is and take that extra $30,000 and make the home your own?
Do what you want. Like I put so many custom things in my home that are what I want that I don't think anybody else would have picked. Well, I know that people wouldn't have picked out. I have a library in my house. There's no one going to build that for me. But that's important. And it's also like going back to Dave Ramsey, right? I don't know if that I have old Dave Ramsey stuff, but it's like find a great house or find the worst house in the best neighborhood, and the one with the ugly wallpaper and the ugly carpet. That's the home that you're going to get the best deal on.
Absolutely. And I mean, when people think about it, especially if they're thinking about leveraging their property and using that equity to level up or to move into a new home, when you buy a home like that, it has the most room for appreciation.
Yes.
If you already buy something at the top, you just got to wait for the market to appreciate. But if you buy something that is not renovated and needs some work, you can do things that actually change the value separate from the market value, And so if over time the market value goes way up, but you've also taken the dirt backyard and landscaped it all, completely renovated it on the inside and stuff, you've just increased the value even more than what the market's gone up,
Absolutely. And now that we're starting to see a shift and more inventory in the market, we're going to see those houses. Those are the ones that stay on the market longer. They have the most potential for the best deal. And those are the things that really, like, buyers, I stress it to buyers all the time, like, those are the ones you need to look for. Like, look for the one that has the pictures that you're just like, those are good. Those are the good ones.
I think too, we have a lot of buyers coming in from north and from the West Coast, and they want modern, they want clean, and we have a lot of Tuscany style homes in Las Vegas. And so you can kind of see on their face and read, but I think being a good agent is saying, are they able, do they have the funds to renovate? Do they have the time and the want to? Some people just don't. Don't want to deal with it. And you've got to kind of fill them out on that. But because I do have a lot of buyers that they only want modern. They want sleek modern. And, for that, it's like new construction.
Yeah.
New construction for sure.
Everyone has their thing.
But we are seeing the Tuscany style being renovated, which is a whole another subject too of which is a cool, I did a reel on modernizing a Tuscan home and it skyrocketed because that's what people are looking at. They are saying, how can I do this?
And people maybe don't think, I can take the Tuscan kind of style of the outside of the home, but on the inside I can work it more modern and it would still work with the exterior style as well. Exactly.
Outside the box.
Yeah, and it can. You can do a lot with there's so much. I mean, any home, if it has good bones, you can do anything with it. You can do anything with it. And so, what are your guys in closing? If you had a crystal ball, which I have one, I need to bring it in the studio. If you had a crystal ball and you were to say what is going to be happening over this next quarter, let's not go too far in the future. Let's go into the next quarter as we're getting, out of, or I guess going into summer. Where are we? What month are we in?
Right.
We're in May right now. So let's say going into summer. What do you think that we're going to be seeing in real estate?
I mean, I do a lot of calling and talking to people, and I've been hearing more and more lately from sellers that they're like kind of afraid they might have missed the boat, missed the high mark, that they're afraid it's going to go down, and kind of thinking like, should we take action or just wait? And so I think, I'm hoping that we see some of these sellers taking advantage of the current market, the good market, and saying, hey, let's go ahead and take advantage of this before maybe things settle down or even out and stabilize. Also with the higher rates, I think it's just going to make it easier for buyers this summer to be getting into properties, just because, a lot of people will be removed from the market. So I think it's going to be a little bit good for buyers. I hope to see a little bit more inventory because of sellers thinking, oh, maybe it's starting to level off, let's take advantage. Because a lot of sellers that I've talked to throughout the years, they keep thinking, oh, it's just going to keep going. And it's like, at what point do you say, okay, I want to take advantage of this, because eventually if you get too greedy and you wait too long for that high point, you're going to miss it.
You can't appreciate 20% every year. Like
can't.
that's just not, it's just,
I think that ship has sailed. I think that all the data that we've been talking about at our brokerage and stuff is through this year, about 15% growth, next year about 5%. So I think the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to go back to a more normal growth.
5 to 7%.
5-6%, which is still fantastic. But.
Right, it's still good.
Yeah,
it's still good.
good.
Yeah, growth is good no matter what. But 20% is just not normal.
Yeah. And I think all those buyers that bought in the last couple of years should be thinking real hard about taking that equity and going ahead and cashing out and using it, maybe to buy investment properties and rental homes and things like that,
Yeah. I do. I think we have a lot of spoiled sellers right now that are just like, this is what I want. And I think we're going to have a reality check on the sell side. I did a lot more listings than I did buyers this past year, and they're all happy. They're all happy. But also, I do think we're going to see some renters, that rental market, really going into condos and townhouses. It's like these townhouses just don't stay on them, but they're just going like crazy.
The condos and the townhomes are going up.
And with the inflation, watching the gas, things they can walk, like the downtown market where they can maybe walk to work, just some different things, a different shift in mindset as far as housing goes, and really looking at saving money and making some smart versus kind of luxury choices.
I think that's a good point. I mean, it blows me away that people are like, oh, I can live in Aliante and work in Inspirada. It's only a 45-minute commute. And I'm like, I know you moved from somewhere with higher commute times, but you don't have to have that high of a commute here. And you could live closer to work. There's so many, good areas of town. And with Vegas, I mean, you have almost the same stuff primarily in all the locations, all the major stuff. And so think about time, and gas costs and what you can't get time back. And, if you're driving for an hour and a half round trip in your day, I mean, think about how much more time with your family you could have, or enjoying yourself, or doing recreation activities and saving all that money,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that too. Yeah. And I'm thinking that, over the next couple months, again, we're going to see more inventory. I do think that there is going to be some sellers that are going to choose not to move just because there's a lot of sellers right now that have like the 2.5%, 3% interest rates.
Yep.
And when you're telling them that they're going to buy a new house at a high rate, no matter what their equity is, they're like, I don't think so.
That's true.
But, and I get that, but again, I also get we're humans, right? When I get the bug to move, I can make it go away for a little bit, right? Or when you get the bug for something that you want to have, it's like you can push it off because you're like sensibility, right? Is like saying, no, I don't want to pay a higher rate, or I don't want to do this, or I'll renovate. How many times have you seen a seller say, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to renovate, I'm going to stay longer and stay forever, and then it's still a year or two goes by and they're like, no, back to what they originally wanted.
True. At the end of the day, people do what they want to do.
They do.
They will make a way, they'll find a way to do it, which is, it's a good thing, I mean, especially for us when we have clients that are motivated and purposed with what their plan that they want to do, it always happens.
It always happens. Eventually. Sometimes it gets delayed.
Right. It might be delayed, but
and I think it's, you need to have an agent who creates or is a creative thinker, because I mean, there's a lot of ways you can turn that scenario into a positive one, like buying in an area that's up and coming, where, okay, yeah, you're paying a little bit higher interest, but where this neighborhood's going, where the trends are going, you're going to see so much more equity increase. It's going to wipe out that higher interest rate, payment that you've made. So I think it's really important to, discuss with your agent, ideas and to bounce things off of them. Because I find a lot of times when I'm talking to clients, and I'm mentioning, hey, have you thought about this or this or this? You see the light bulbs and wheels turning, like, oh my God, I didn't even think of that option. I was just looking at this one avenue, but there's so many ways you can leverage your property, use real estate, and get ahead regardless of the market.
Absolutely. And then the other thing that I think that we have, well, two more things I think that are going to be coming up. We're going to see, which we're already starting to see, different lending types of scenarios coming up. We're going to be seeing those come up, and some of them I agree with, and some of them I hate and despise. But it is what it is. It's going to happen, right? We can't control that. It's going to happen. There's going to be options opened up for different avenues there, and then no one's talking about this, and that's so weird to me that no one's talking about this, but Airbnbs are going to become legalized here in the next couple months.
Yeah.
And we've got to see some activity in housing for that. There's got to be some purchase activity and buzz going around there. I feel like it's going to be in, certain areas, locations, and things like that. But that's going to pick things up a little bit here, too.
I think that's going to be interesting. I actually sat in on the last public comment meeting for Clark County with that, and I was surprised what they had said in that meeting compared to what now has been released as the requirements. It got 50 times more restrictive.
Oh.
Way more restrictive.
Okay.
And so, I get a lot of calls for people wanting to do investment properties and stuff, and it's definitely possible. I think buyers just need to be realistic that it's not just, I can just buy a house and Airbnb it. It's so easy and simple and whatever. There are a lot of hoops you've got to jump through.
Yeah. And we have casinos here.
Yep,
So
yep.
they are definitely going to be backing those regulations.
And people complain about that. And I had to change my perspective talking to another agent, because it's like, well, they have the money and power to just start buying homes, And so if we don't play nice with them, what's to stop them from just going and buying up tons of inventory and renting them out, or using them for high rollers? And again, that's taking inventory from owner occupiers or owners that want to start creating wealth through passive income themselves.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely going to be interesting, I think, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So we have we're going to have a fun summer here.
Yep.
Yes.
So and it'll be hot, promise. Whether the real estate market's hot or not, it will be hot here. Well, if you guys are watching our show, like, comment, share, tell your friends about us, tune in, keep following us. We are doing questions. If you guys are posting questions on Facebook, we will answer them live on the show. However, no questions were posted today, so we have no questions to answer. But keep that in mind when you guys are watching our further shows, that we can answer questions live here on the show for you. John, tell our guests how to reach you if they want to get some more information.
You can reach me at Berkshire Hathaway on the Sahara office, but my number is 702-498-9338, or you can go to johnwilliamsgroup.com. That's my website, and I am all about helping people. So if you just have questions, just want to kind of pick my brain, get an idea of what options there are, happy to do so. Even if you're not ready to make a move, look, I understand you have to plan and prepare, and I feel like a lot of people are afraid to reach out to agents until they're ready, because they think they're going to get pounced on. And it's like, no, look, we're in the business of helping people. So reach out if you have any questions. Happy to help.
Good deal. Mia, how do people get out to you?
I am on Instagram, Facebook, Google me. Easy to find, always available, and it's always a blast to be on your show, Trish.
Yes, it's always a blast to have you here. And TikTok. I love your TikTok videos.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So, guys, you know how to reach me, Trish Williams, 702-308-2878. You can message me, comment on the show, all kinds of ways. Google me. You'll find me. All right. I will see you guys next week on Realty Check. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.